Welcome, Joe here from Scarff Ford. Today we're going to talk about this lovely 2021 Tesla Model Y long range all-wheel drive that we have for sale. One amazing fully electric vehicle. Tesla is the guru of EVs. They make the most EVs out of anyone in the world, and in fact the Model Y last year became the best-selling vehicle in the world. Not the best-selling EV, but the best vehicle selling in the whole entire world. And this year in 2024, the Model Y has become the best-selling car in the U.S., overtaking the RAV4 and the Ford F-Series. So obviously there's some EV naysayers that say, oh, I'm waiting for the technology to get there before I buy an EV. Well, if the Model Y is the best-selling car in the world and best-selling vehicle in the U.S., I think the technology has gotten there. So the Model Y is made in a few different variations. There's a performance, there's a rear-wheel drive, a standard range. This is a dual motor, long-range, all-wheel drive. So what that means is it has a electric motor in the front, an electric motor in the back, making it all-wheel drive. It also makes it really quick. 0 to 60 is a little over 4 seconds. Definitely sports car territory. Even though this is not the highest performance version of the Model Y, there's a Model Y Performance, this thing is pretty fast in its own right. This thing is still ridiculously fast. You can put a lot of purpose-built gas sports car to shame with how well this accelerates. And the thing with EVs, there's no transmissions to shift, there's just only one gear. And then as soon as you hit the throttle, you have instantaneous throttle response. So this thing takes right off. And we'll notice that the Model Y has a pretty clean sheet design in the interior. It's not overly cluttered with buttons and knobs, and that's by design. The majority of the functionality is in the screen. And some people ridicule for Tesla saying, oh, you have to do everything through the screen. Well, the thing with this screen, it's infinitely reconfigurable. When you have hard buttons and knobs, those are there forever, where this thing is constantly being reconfigured and updated. I mean, just all the apps and stuff that you can have. It seems like every couple months, it gains features. You have new features, new apps. I love YouTube Music. That was a recent addition. You have Amazon, Audible, Apple Podcast, Apple Music. These are all recent additions. Then you have the arcade mode where you can play video games on the arcade, and that's fantastic. You can also watch movies. You can't do it while it's driving. You can watch movies on Netflix and YouTube and things like that, Disney Plus. They don't want you to do it while driving, and a lot of those features are you can get with premium connectivity. It's about $10 a month. It basically gives it cell phone connectivity, so you can stream music right through the infotainment system, stream movies. It even has an internet browser. And the nice thing about this screen is that you don't really have to swipe through menus. It's actually pretty easy. It's very intuitive the way to design it. It's almost like using an iPad. But a lot of the functionality, you can use voice commands. This has about 140 different voice commands. For instance, you can say, make it warmer. And every time you say make it warmer, it will raise the temperature by 3 degrees. Make it warmer. There again, it raises the temperature by 3 degrees. Then you can make it cooler. Rear defroster on. Wipers on 1. Wipers off. So as you can see, you don't even have to take your eyes off the road. You can just do voice commands and change a lot of settings in the vehicle without having to mess with the screen. But the screen's great. Like I said, it's very intuitively designed. Once you kind of mess around with it, you get the hang of it. It's really easy and simple to use. I could literally go on for an hour talking about this Tesla. It's just so different than a regular vehicle. It's just you can just go on and talking about it. This has the upgraded turbine wheels for a little bit more of a performance look. I like the simplistic wedge styling of the Model Y, very similar to its Model 3 sibling. Some people say it's kind of boring and bland. I like the way it looks. Where some cars are kind of bold and very angular and curvaceous and have a lot of bling. Tesla has a more minimalist approach, to each his own. Cars can look good, minimalist, or they can also look good, kind of over-the-top styling. I like both, but I think this works great for Tesla in the design philosophy. Since there's no engine up front, we have a frunk, which gives you more cargo space. It's also a safety feature because you have all this space to absorb cross energy in a frontal collision. In fact, the Model Y is one of the safest vehicles on the road. When the NHTSA tested the Model Y, I believe it was actually one of the safest SUVs that they've ever tested, one of the lowest probability of injury. So if you value your safety and your family's safety, Tesla Model Y is a very wise choice for your next vehicle. This has a fully charged range of about 300 miles, but charging to 80% in the real world, it's going to be probably more closer to like 250, 280 miles as far as usable range. Since this one has lithium-ion batteries, they don't like to be charged to 100% for daily use. They like to be charged to 80% to just keep that long, happy life of the lithium-ion batteries. But it's perfectly fine to charge them to 100% for a road trip. Then you have additional storage under there. Normally there'd be a gas tank or an exhaust system, but since this is a battery electric vehicle, you have more space. It's actually remarkable how much space you have. You can fold down the seats. It actually has a camp mode too if you want to camp inside it, put some sleeping bags in there. The camp mode works great. Obviously you have a power rear liftgate. And even though the Model Y is considered a compact, it has a ton of interior space. I'm 6'2", and look how much space I have in here. I have a ton of headroom, ton of legroom. It is just amazing how spacious this Model Y is. It has a lot more space than a comparable compact crossover SUV with a gas engine, just since you don't have drive shafts, the gas tank, an emission control system. It frees up a lot more space. And let's talk about savings. How is an EV going to save you money? Well, first and foremost, obviously an EV is going to save you money on electricity versus gas. I have a Tesla myself. I probably pay about $50, $60 a month to charge my EV versus $150 a month in gas. But that's not the only savings. Since you don't have an internal combustion engine with thousands of moving parts, it doesn't need complex maintenance. You don't need to bring it in for the big 30, 60, 90K services. You don't need to change timing belts, spark plugs. You don't need to do oil changes or coolant flushes. You don't have an emission control system to go bad or someone steal your catalytic converter underneath your vehicle. You don't have any of that stuff with an EV. It has dozens of moving parts versus thousands. So pretty much your biggest maintenance items on this thing is going to be tires. And this one has 4 brand new tires, so it'll be quite a while before you'll have to worry about tires in this one. You just get in it, drive it, go home, plug it in, you'll wake up the next morning with a full tank of electricity. It's like having an electric toothbrush. You use your electric toothbrush, you put it on the charger, and then when you're ready to use again, it's got a full battery. Same thing works with EVs like this. So if you can set up charging at your home, if you have a 240 volt plug, you can get a full charge in about 7 to 8 hours. And then off of a 110 outlet with an adapter, you can probably get about 60 to 70 miles of charge overnight, which is okay for most people, but for the most part, you're going to want a 240 volt charger. It's kind of like the one that works that works with your dryer. There's an adapter with the Tesla charger, and that'll add about 30 miles per range per hour. Well, there you have it, a beautiful example of a 2021 Tesla Model Y long-range all-wheel drive. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you soon, and have a wonderful day.